Okay, so good glorious morning, everyone. I'm here on my beautiful island, and it's Monday morning, and I want to talk to you this morning. So wake up, wake up, wake up. It's a glorious day. It's a glorious morning. The glory of the Lord is risen. Bring it. My interpretation. Anyway, I want to talk to you really quickly this morning. I think I'm going to have to go downstairs because there's a lot of background noise. Okay. Let's see if I can get better vocals here this morning. All right. Let's tone down already. It's time for everybody to go to work. All those wonderful people. I'm going to be creating mine really soon. Look for Lavender House. She's coming, she's coming. The bright and morning star is risen within my soul. So, this morning I want to talk to you rather quickly about the word assume. There's one of the 4 agreements in Don Miguel Ruiz's book, The 4 Agreements. It says, assume nothing. Okay? And so I want to talk this morning about assumption and the word assume. Now, I've got another one. I don't know if I've already posted it, but it's about rehearsing. But I like to break words down sometimes. And so the word rehearse turned into hear, say. Okay, so you can get that. But this one, assume, breaks down. Let your brain go to the imagination now. Work with me. Don't condemn me, because I'm just going to put it like it is. I'm going to put it the way the Holy Spirit gives it to me. I'm going to talk to you right where you're at. Okay, because that's how God does it on a Monday morning. So, assume. S-U-me. All right? So we have a relationship there with you and me. And when we assume something, then we put our S in it. That's the way that goes. Okay? Let's just break it down. That's where it is. When we assume, when I assume that my son knows or is behaving a certain way because da-da-da-da-da, my assumption could be totally wrong. Okay? Okay, so let me see if I can create this picture for you. And I'm gonna just this is a fictitious story. So I'm going to say that I may have assumed. Okay, so I see my son not being as vigorous as I am about his health and exercise regimen, his diet and lifestyle, because you know that's my place. Okay, and so I assume that it's not that important to him. Okay, I assume that he's not doing what he should be doing. All right. And in my assumption, I get feelings and I get emotions because, you know, I'm the mom and I told him what to do and he's not doing what I told him to do, the way I told him to do it. But now on a real part of that story, gee willikers, you know, if I tell you this scene is so beautiful, I'm getting distracted. Anyway, on a real part of this story, when the son that I'm talking about was about 9 years old or something, I scolded him one day about washing the dishes. And I remember that quite vividly because he turned around and made the statement to me. He says, well, I did them. I just didn't do it the way you told me to because I got my own mind. Bam! Okay? Now that was B-A-M and not the other word. But and you know, like that guy that cooks and he goes bam, that's what that was. I'm only using one profanity in this broadcast. But so now let's fast one to he's a man now, and I have been with him in reality for some time, and in his home, and participating in his life when he's more incapacitated as his caregiver, but always as his mom. And you know, always as mothers, we think that, you know, our children, we think that we know what's right for our children. I don't care if they get 100 years old and we're 105 or whatever. We're a couple of steps ahead of them, and we think we know. But we need to remember, they got their own mind. Okay, so let's get out of the personal family situation and go to the workplace, because it's Monday morning. Now, if you assume that your coworker has an attitude, okay, because maybe she didn't speak to you at the coffee pot, or maybe she just walked by you, didn't say nothing, or, you know, it's easy to get in that you-me relationship and make it matter, make it something that it's not quite. You know, that part of your body is behind you. That's why we call it the behind. And most of the time you're sitting on it. I'm just putting it out there. So sometimes you need to just sit on that and wait a few minutes, because you might determine something else that will change your emotion to that person. Or you can walk around with it, you can deal with it, you can assume what you think over and over again during the day, and then the next time you pass by her and don't say nothing, because she didn't say nothing to you, you know, this morning when she came by, okay, act like you wasn't even there, all right? And then you can have that attitude for the whole flipping week. Or you can assume that your boss knew that you were such and such a place, and when he came up and asked you, did you do such and such and such, and you said, well, you know me, you know I did this, da, da, da. You go all defense. Okay? That's how that makes you feel. So, assumption brings an emotion that may not be true at all. So let's replace assume. Let's get the ass out from between you and me and see a clear picture. Now let me go biblical with this, because there was a prophet going someplace, and most of you might know this story. He was going someplace, and he was riding upon an ass, and the ass balked. It stopped. It wouldn't go. And he got down. He looked all around. He pulled on the bridle or whatever, you know, and trying to make the animal move. Well, the animal got up, and he got back on it, and the animal went a couple of more steps and stopped again. And the man got down. He was frustrated. Seriously, he's trying to get to work. He's trying to get to what he's supposed to be getting to, and this animal is just like not working. So he gets out. He yanks on the thing. He gets a brush and hits it on the behind and all these kinds of things. And the animal got up in its best obedience and tried to move a little bit more. And took a couple of steps and sat down again. Man, he was so mad. He jumped down. He got a log or something, or maybe his fist, whatever. But he socked the animal in the face, just hit him. And the animal just sat there. And the man is jumping up and down. It's like, why aren't you moving? Da 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 da. And the animal looked at him and said, don't you see those two angels with their fiery swords blocking the path? So I'm going to stop that story right there, because I'm going back to Ask You Me. There was a relationship between this prophet at that moment, between him and the ass, because he could not see what was before them. The angels of the Lord was prohibiting his continuance on the path that he was going. He was slowing him down or stopping him for a reason. People, I'm here to tell you, there's a reason for everything. There's a cause and effect. You get delayed on the highway and you're sitting there griping and thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to be late, da 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 da, I knew I should have left 5 minutes early, da 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 da, assuming. And then you get all the way to the assuming. You're assuming that you're going to hit that time clock and get that pink slip and get a warning, and then your boss is going to be mad, or you're going to be late for a meeting and all this kind of stuff. And you get 3 minutes up the road when the traffic starts going again, and they're still pulling cars over, and maybe you even see a white sheet over on the side of the road, or EMS and fire trucks and all this kind of stuff. Okay? There's a reason for everything. So sometimes we just need to move that part and just sit down on it and let the you and me come back together, and we'll have a much, much better relationship. So today's message is assume. Do not assume anything. So if you're not going to assume, what are you going to do? You're going to ask. You're going to go over to that sister and say, hey, you didn't speak to me this morning, girl. What's up? Okay? She might say, I can't talk about it right now. She might get with you later on. And if it's a personal problem between you and her, you might get the opportunity to work through that. In the case with your children, sometimes you just gonna have to shut up and let God do it. But at other times, God will give you the opportunity to confront that child, or to discuss with that child. Say, well, you know, I told you a way to do it that I thought would have been best. What's your impression? And then you might learn how to address your adult child with an attitude of more respect, because that's what they want. And you might say, well, honey, here's a suggestion. I'm not trying to start anything. I just want to make a suggestion. And if it helps you, then fine, so be it. I love you. Always tell them I love you. Always tell them I'm proud of you. Always let them know I'm here for you. I'm here with you. Let's learn more unconditional love. A lot of us, especially, I'm over 60, so we grew up in an era where we were raised, particularly in the South, with a whole different set of rules and regulations. But I see that we're a lot more open with our children and intellect and speaking to them. And please remember to hug them. To hug them. Don't let technology desensitize your children to where they no longer know how to hug mom or dad or aunt so-and-so, or, you know, get put the phones down. One of my sons in his home, when it's time for family dinner, nobody brings nobody brings a gadget to the table. Anyway, that's assumption, that's assuming for today. Assume nothing, but ask, inquire, get the understanding in all your relationships. And remember, God loves us all. And I love all of you. Have a glorious day.